Good morning everyone and welcome to the presentation of the Miglia 2021. 12th May was originally the date chosen for the start, a start that will be scheduled in 5 weeks. An iconic, historical, extraordinary place with over 1,000 years of history, the Miglia Museum houses 130,000 documents that tell so much history, but also the future in the 2021 edition. And we present today our first guest, the Mayor of Brescia, Emilio Del Bono. Good morning, Mayor.
Hello, Fabio, and good morning to you all.
Thank you for being with us at this presentation of the Miglia 2021, Mayor. The Miglia is a great heritage for our country, but it is above all a great heritage for Brescia.
Yes, Brescia awaits the arrival of the Miglia and cannot wait to see the cars whiz by. We consider it an integral part of our history, for our identity, but also certainly for our future. It is a jewel. It is a jewel for our community, and we want to preserve this jewel, but also give it to the many visitors and people who will come during this event.
It's a great opportunity to showcase the beauty of Brescia and the country at a very special time, Mayor, at a time when the country really wants to feel born once again, wants to be free.
It wants to be back on track, and perhaps the Miglia represents just that. To race in the evident respect of an exhausting recovery that is now just a stone's throw away. We are confident that this month that is coming is going to be an extraordinary month. It will be a month of beauty also for our city, for the recovery, for the regeneration of the environment and the context. But it will also be the desire to return to living and to relate and to look at what is happening around us. And also to look to the future with confidence. Miglia represents a great gesture, a great commitment of trust.
Therefore, through the Miglia, we can invite the people who are following us, but also through streaming, to come to Brescia in safety, of course, while respecting all the protocols, to admire even more the beauty of this entire area and, of course, the entire Miglia route.
Brescia is waiting. It is waiting with absolute conviction, but also serenity and safety. The numbers of cases are obviously decreasing, and above all, vaccinations are proceeding very quickly in our country, even throughout the territory. You can come here in safety, you can visit the city, you can enjoy it. So come to Brescia, and you will enjoy a beautiful city, a city that awaits you, a city that will surprise you.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll be waiting for you on the platform in Viale Venezia with a flag to see off the first cars. Now let's really get into the details of this edition of 2021 in the company of Aldo Bonomi, the president of ACI Brescia. Let's enter the heart of the presentation of the 2021 edition of the Miglia through this wonderful corridor that really takes us into the history of the Miglia. We do so by greeting the president of ACI Brescia, Aldo Bonomi.
Hello, good morning to you all.
President, the 2020 edition, a particular. In October we called it Special Edition. We can also call the 2021 edition a Special Edition, which will not start in May but start soon in June.
I'd say so, yes. In fact, we need to call it a special edition, because last year we had the courage to do it. This year we had the courage to start again. And I believe that this is a restart not only for the Miglia, but also for Italy. I believe that ours must be a contribution given to Italy and to the people of Brescia.
You said to the people of Brescia, we heard the mayor say earlier how important the link between Brescia and Miglia is. The Miglia is above all Brescia.
Well, yes, it's above all Brescia, but not only Brescia. It's obvious that the link between the Miglia and Brescia is well known by all. But we want the Miglia to become an international icon. to become the future of Italy in the world. I believe that this is the task that the Miglia must have.
You spoke of the future, President. There are many projects in the future. There's one that intrigues me greatly, the Miglia Foundation.
Well, I'd say yes. I'd say we're at a good point. Nothing is certain yet, until there are signatures and the final agreements to be made. But I think so. I'd like to say yes. I can't say yet because we still have to sit around a table. But it's clear that the Automobile Club of Italy will participate as the headquarters of the Italian Union, of course. The Automobile Club of Brescia, the Miglia Museum will be an integral part of this. The Chamber of Commerce, the municipality, the province, the Mazzotti Club, Miglia SRL, and perhaps we hope there may be possibilities for the region. However, everything is still to be considered, but I'm optimistic about the final result.
We've talked about Brescia features. We've talked about being international as a brand that's known all over the world. But I would like to underline the significance of this edition. In a country that wants to come out of a decidedly dark period, can Miglia really be a great driving force for the rebirth of the whole of Italy?
It has to be, and it will try to be, because on this route through Italy, we will pass through some many beautiful cities, and will also give an important economic result to the restart. We know that industries have worked well or not so well up until now. Some have worked more, some have worked less, but all in all, everyone has worked. While on the other hand, as far as tourism is concerned, very few have worked, and we believe that with this event, we are making a great contribution to tourism.
We'll take a look at some wonderful images, and in a moment we'll get to the heart of the new Miglia route. There are some new features, President. What is not new but confirmed is the attention to safety and great organizational effort you put into it.
I believe that here we must applaud our people who have worked so hard for this. Of course, the police who have allowed us to improve on what we did last year. Last year we showed that we are able to guarantee safety. This year we will show it even more on the basis of last year's experience. I believe that we must be an example. I don't want to take other examples, such as the one that took place a few days ago in Milan. But we will absolutely try to do better, and I believe that we will certainly succeed.
So, Mr. President, the 2021 Miglia will not start in May. The special edition will start in June. See you on the 16th of June on the starting grid for the first cars. So, we will continue with our journey through this iconic historic museum that provides us with so many images and so many wonderful cars. And as you can see, we'll do so in a moment with the chairman of Miglia, our SRL, Franco Gussali Beretta. Our journey through Miglia Museum continues. The 2020 edition is clearly special and less rich in novelties than the 2021 edition. And we're back to meet the president of Miglia SRL, Franco Gussali Beretta.
Hello, everybody.
As I was saying, there's a lot of new features.
Sì, certo. Come sempre cerchiamo di mettere grandi novità.
Yes, of course. As always, we try to introduce some great innovations. This year, let's say, the new feature is that we're trying to combine the tradition of the past, which is always fundamental to our Miglia, with the future of motor racing.
E quindi nel logo abbiamo inserito
And so we have included this new motto in the logo, Crossing the Future, because since its inception, the Miglia has wanted to be the crossroads between innovation and development in the motor racing sector, in the automotive sector and beyond.
An edition full of new features crossing the future. There is a lot of tradition, as always, in Miglia, but there is a strong attention to the new features, and there are some really interesting ones also inside the route.
Da una parte le automobili, dall'altra il percorso, l'altro punto essenziale.
Of course, on one hand there are the cars, and on the other the route. The other essential point of our race, and this year we're going to make the route between Brescia and Rome and back in a counterclockwise direction.
Veniva fatta. Lungo il percorso abbiamo delle altre novità.
Which is not completely new, but it certainly hasn't been done for many years. Grosseto, which is a new city for the classic race, because Grosseto was passed through during the original speed race, but never during the regularity race. Then we will pass through Bologna, always an important point, and then Verona. And in Verona, we will stay in Piazza Bra, which will again be a great novelty, and there will be great energy in the square.
Great energy, and speaking of energy, Chairman, the link comes easily to me because the energy of the future is green energy. Attention to crossing the future sustainability is not lacking in the 2021 edition.
Abbiamo due punti completamente innovativi. Da una parte
Absolutely. We have two completely innovative points. On the one hand, Miglia Green, where there will be a talk and we will discuss the new technologies of sustainable cars. And on the other hand, a group of supercars, hypercars, that represent the most advanced in automotive technology today. And so on the one hand, sustainability, and on the other, supercars, hypercars.
Avranno per le automobili classiche
like the historic cars, these supercars, hypercars will take part in a real race with 70 special trials. And so it will be retracing the same points of the past when the Miglia was the catwalk for the best cars on our roads. And again we'll have supercars, hypercars that are the future of motoring.
E di nuovo avremo queste supercar e ipercar che sono il futuro dell'automobilismo. Un altro punto importante è crossing the future.
Another important point is crossing the future in the Arab Emirates, where we are currently signing an agreement to hold the edition of the Jubilee in the Arab Emirates, a Miglia style route among the 7 states in that part of the world.
That's certainly a great new feature. What's not new in Miglia's constant commitment is to safety. We're not wearing a mask at the moment, but we're maintaining a considerable distance. Safety is always an extremely important point.
La sicurezza è sempre stata la base di tutte le gare Mille Miglia, ma dall'anno scorso
Safety has always been the basis of all Miglia races. But since last year, we have re-emphasized this point due to COVID. And so we have drawn up a very important protocol which must be respected by all of us, participants, the public, and of course, the organizers.
Well, thank you, Chairman. I'll see you all on the 16th of June.
We will all be there.
We'll all be there on the 16th of June, but now I'm going to continue my walk inside the Historical Museum of the Miglia, and I'm going to speak to the CEO of Miglia, Alberto Piantoni. The last part of our presentation of the Miglia 2021 in the company of Alberto Piantoni, CEO of Miglia SRL. Welcome, Alberto. So, Alberto, there are 5 weeks left of Miglia 2021, which will start in June. The question I want to ask the CEO of the Miglia is, are we ready?
Siamo pronti anche se c'è stato un cambio importante. Il paddock, noi eravamo abituati.
We are ready. We are ready, even if there has been an important change. We were used to having our headquarters at the Brescia Fair, but this year Miglia has rightly found another venue, because the paddock at the Brescia Fair has become the vaccination center, and therefore an important thing, not only for the city of Brescia, but also for the Miglia in some way, because safety is the focus of all our attention.
Alberto, in
identifying the Miglia 2021, the claim is crossing the future. Why is that?
Well, in a way, it's to reiterate the original spirit of the Miglia. In those editions from 1927 to 1957, the Miglia experimented, worked on technological innovation, and built the future, not only of cars, but also for our country in terms of infrastructure. So today, we need to go back to that spirit and the audacity of that period, because cars, but the world in general, and we ourselves, are facing a great challenge, the challenge also of sustainability. And so, as Miglia, we wanted to give a sign, to give a decisive march towards this new structure. And so, there will be historic cars, but also modern supercars, and also a group of green supercars, which will be forced to challenge the distances, because there will be legs of around 500 kilometers, and doing them in electric mode is not exactly a walk in the park.
No, it's not a walk in the park. Let's get right to the heart of Miglia 2021 by talking about the route, Alberto. There are some important new features.
Well, the most important change is certainly the direction in which the cars will be driving. We were used to going down the east from the east coast of our country. On the contrary, this year from Brescia, we'll go to Parma, the Cisa, and then we'll go down towards Rome, skirting our peninsula on the west side and vice versa. The return will be along the Apennine Ridge and then Futa and Raticosa. But we'll talk about this later. We will certainly go to Bologna, Verona, and then finish in Brescia.
Now, Alberto, as if we were in a film, let's imagine our route with the places that will characterize the Miglia 2021. We have said we are leaving from and we will come back to Brescia. Brescia that has always had a very strong link with the Miglia.
Certainly, Brescia
is the center of gravity of the Miglia. As President Bonomi said, the link with Brescia is inseparable. It is special. Brescia is the Miglia, and Miglia is Brescia, first of all. And in particular, some places in Brescia, Piazza Vittoria, the starting point in Viale Venezia, the castle, the city route, are points that not only are embedded in our memory, but are fundamental points of the race route. And let's not forget, this is the most important regularity race in the world.
Lasciata Brescia e le sue suggestioni, tappa davvero molto bella.
Having left Brescia and its charming places behind, it's a really beautiful and intriguing leg on the way to Parma.
Certainly, Parma is an iconic city for the Miglia. Before arriving in Parma, we'll pass through Busseto, the birthplace of Giuseppe Verdi, and this year we'll also link up with the theme of Verona. So Verdi will be a bit of a thread running through this Miglia race.
Let's start climbing, Alberto. Let's go towards the Cisa Pass.
Well, the Cisa Pass is one of the three iconic passes of the Miglia, together with the Futa and the Raticosa. And this year we'll be covering all three in this special edition. Last year we tackled it in the evening, fog and rain. It was really hard. This year we'll have certainly more light, as it's not October but June, and we hope so we'll definitely be able to admire this impressive landscape.
Having crossed the Cisa, we descend towards the Sea Alberto, Sarzana and then Viareggio with a special appointment.
Viareggio ci accoglierà.
Viareggio will welcome us, and the city of the carnival will welcome us, a leg that will certainly remain in the memory of our participants.
The end of the first leg in Viareggio, then we'll start to descend Tuscany towards Pisa.
Well, this is an iconic part of the Mille Miglia. We'll pass by Bolgari up to Castagneto Carducci, along the 5-kilometer straight stretch of the Viale dei Cipressi, made famous by Carducci, but also the colossal film Quo Vadis. It is here that Robert Taylor, in the role of Marco Vinicio, on his way back to Rome, was chased by 2 Praetorians with a chariot.
Every year, Mille Miglia is a great film, a colossal like the one you mentioned, Alberto. But there are other films that we have characterized some of the moments of this passage of the Mille Miglia 2021.
Certainly, the crews will be lucky enough to pass through the Romito Road from Livorno to Castiglione della Pescaia, made famous by the famous film Il Sorpasso. Continuing in a southerly direction, the convoy will pass through Pitigliano, a wonderful village carved out of tuff in the area where Tuscany borders with Lazio.
It's time to leave Tuscany and also think about dinner before arriving in Rome.
An iconic place of incredible beauty, the Palace of the Popes in Viterbo. The crews will be able, during the race, because it will be a dinner during the race, to refresh themselves and then head off towards Rome, towards their arrival in Via Veneto.
It's a special moment, the passage to Rome, and it's also special because it basically marks the turning point. It's back north.
Da Roma verso nord è un'infilata di passaggi che hanno un fascino unico.
From Rome to the north, there are various places that have a unique charm. Orvieto, Lake Trasimeno, Cortona, Arezzo, Chianti. It's a very rich area. It's the area that will perhaps give the most meaning to this Mille Miglia, because we'll not only pass through incredible landscapes, but also experience the art, the culture of those places. Petrarca, Vasari, Buonarroti, scenes from Benigni's historic film Life is Beautiful. And then we will go through the 2 passes of the Futa and the Raticosa, which together with the Cisa represent the historical triptych for the Mille Miglia. Then Bologna, Reggio Emilia, and dinner in Piazza Bra in Verona on the occasion of the reopening of the arena, where Giuseppe Verdi's Aida will be performed. We will arrive in Salò, we'll retrace a stretch of the historic Garda circuit built in 1921, and then the Zeta Road, which will take us back in history a bit.
Let's go back here to the Mille Miglia Museum that will host the Green Talk because, Alberto, let's not forget that the green soul in Crossing the Future is always strong in Mille Miglia.
Il Green Talk fa un po' il punto sulla
It's strong and decisive. The Green Talk takes stock of the challenge that the automotive industry and Brescia, one of the capitals and very important districts, is preparing to face on the green theme. But also in a second panel, there will be a more decisive look at the technologies and the future that awaits us, even in the cities. So it is certainly an opportunity to take a long look at Mille Miglia. As we said before, Mille Miglia has been crossing the future since its first editions, and therefore this point on technology and on the responsibility that awaits us in the future, I think is a key point of this Mille Miglia 2021.
Credo che sia un punto determinante di questa Mille Miglia 2021.
So we'll see you on the 15th June here at the Mille Miglia Museum with the Green Talk, Alberto. We've talked about green, we've talked about great history. Of course, we're also talking about these wonderful hypercars that will follow the Mille Miglia route and more.
Attraversando il futuro non potevamo non passare da alcuni marchi e da alcune autovetture.
Well, of course, as we cross the future, we couldn't fail to pass by some brands and some cars. As every year, there will be the Ferrari tribute, but also the experience, which will line up 25, 30 very special hypercars on the starting grid, which in some ways are already the future of the internal combustion engine. And so this too will be part of the carousel that we will have called Crossing the Future.
Alberto,
Mille Miglia is a great team in which it is also nice to remember not only the commitment of all of those who are part of Mille Miglia team, but also sponsors and partners.
Well, Mille Miglia is rightly a team. It's a family. It's something that's difficult to describe. The municipality, the Automobile Club of Brescia, the Mille Miglia team, whom I must always thank for the self-sacrifice with which they work, but also our partners. We have sponsors. I don't really like to call them sponsors. They are something more than that, something special that follows us in all our projects, starting from the Italy of the Mille Miglia and beyond. So thank you very much to all those who make this event of ours possible.
So there is really a beautiful fusion, the history of Mille Miglia, the hypercars, and then of course the Green Talk and Mille Miglia Green to look to the future with a beautiful vision. If you have any questions, you can easily send us an email to press@1000miglia.it. We will of course answer you. Alberto, we've had a long trip inside the Mille Miglia Museum, a nice immersion in history in an iconic place, as iconic as Mille Miglia itself. This place that has more than 1,000 years of history. It's time to set our appointment in Viale Venezia on the 16th of June.
Of course, we will meet on the 16th of June with masks. We will respect the protocols, because last year we did something special with the safety protocol, and this year we intend to repeat it, because safety is a fundamental element for the Mille Miglia, and also for our country.
We're saying goodbye from the Mille Miglia Museum. We have told you a lot of things, but now don't forget Mille Miglia. For the live streaming of the big event, starting from the presentation press conference on Monday the 14th of June, and then on Tuesday 15th there'll be the Green Talk, and on Wednesday the 16th the starting of the Mille Miglia on the platform in Viale Venezia. On Saturday 19th there'll be the arrival with the prize giving ceremony, and then don't forget the Mille Miglia village on Tuesday and Wednesday with the sealing ceremony of the cars, where you can see them close up. Always remember that Enzo Ferrari was right. And also the 2021 edition will be the Mille Miglia, the most beautiful race in the world.